You have spent hours watching YouTube videos, reading blog posts, and filling up your notes app with thoughts in this business that you want to start. You've spent hundreds to maybe even thousands of dollars on equipment. You've spent months thinking about your branding, your color palette, your logo, but you haven't actually started. And that's a problem. So in this video, I'm going to give you the pep talk that you need and a simple framework to know exactly what you need to do next. So not to freak you out or anything, but we only have a few weeks left before the end of the year, and I don't want you to start the new year still stuck exactly where you are. I want you to take action, but taking action is scary. I get it. You might not like the place that you're in right now. You might not like the life that you're living, but you do know what to expect. You do know what it's like. It's predictable, right? It's comfortable in that way. And change, be it good or bad, means uncertainty. And our brains are literally wired to hate uncertainty. So you do what you think helps you move forward while still allowing you to feel safe. You plan, you prepare, you research. You tell yourself you are just getting ready and that you just need one more YouTube video, one more piece of equipment, one more piece of your strategy figured out before you launch. But what you're really doing is you're avoiding that uncertainty. You are using research and planning and strategy as a delaying tactic to allow you to put off facing that fear and that discomfort, and that's actually what's holding you back. And I think a lot of you know that your obsession with research and feeling ready is just a procrastination tactic, but what you might not know is that this fear of uncertainty actually has two very separate parts to it. The first is the obvious one, your fear of failure, the little voice in your head that asks you why you think you're good enough, that tells you how it'd be so embarrassing for people in your life to see you pursue this dream only for you to fall flat on your face, right? This fear of failure. But the one that we don't often talk about, the kind of less obvious face of this fear, is your fear of success. Because what if this does actually work? What if you have to rearrange your life and your weekends and your identity around this new business? What if you have to leave friendships behind because people feel jealous of you and it gets weird and suddenly you're in a very different stage of life than the folks that you used to care about? And what if you suddenly have to get way better about managing your money? What if, your entire life you've been living paycheck to paycheck and suddenly you have more now? You feel comfortable, but you also have all of this responsibility to manage that money appropriately and have to learn these skills that you've never had to learn before. The fear of success is very real, and there are a lot of skills that you are going to have to learn when you pursue this as a career, when you pursue creative entrepreneurship. And at the end of the day, all of these fears are rooted in the same thing, leaving the status quo. Because even if it's not great, it's what you know. It's what you are comfortable with. Maybe you have no one in your life that's ever made this work as a career, that's never done a small business, and so you just have no idea what success looks like. But this obsession with readiness is just another lie that you are telling yourself. There is no such thing as being ready. That is not a thing. And I think this desire for readiness is just a confidence issue. But it really stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of where confidence comes from. Confidence is not a feeling that you feel when you are trying something completely out of your comfort zone. Confidence is a feeling that you build over time by doing the thing. It is born out of a history of successful attempts at that task and adjacent tasks. Confidence is your brain telling you, okay, we have done this or things like this before, and we haven't died yet, we've survived, so probably this thing is okay too. So we can do this again. And I think what's happening is that you are looking at the veritable mountain of responsibilities that you're gonna have to take on, tasks that you're gonna have to do, like skills you're gonna have to build, and you are rightfully intimidated. That mountain is super tall and it's scary, it's frightening. You are going to have to change so much as a person to be able to do this. You're gonna have to learn so many skills. You're gonna have to gain confidence in so many different things. And you are going to change a lot as a person. I feel like I have changed a lot as a person, but not in a bad way. I feel like I am a more confident and competent version of myself. I think you're kind of taking this like 5 mile view of it in a lot of ways, right? Like you were looking at the mountain and being like, oh, I have to climb that right as I am immediately. And that's not true. This is like you sitting at the base of the mountain, looking at all of these like topo maps and the massive summit ahead of you, and reading stories of people summiting their own mountains and trying to like chart the perfect course, right? You like are stuck in this planning in this research phase because you want to climb the mountain correctly. You don't want to like skip a step. You don't want to go on the wrong trail. You want to have the most seamless path upward. But there is no perfect path. Like the mountain is unique to you. You are going to chart your own course, and that's awesome. I think the best way to build confidence is to have like the basic shape of the mountain, like knowing what peak you want to go up, putting that peak into your GPS, like having that kind of north star, and then taking your first step. And that first step, that doesn't kill you. If you're okay, then you use the confidence that you now have from that just single small step, and you take another step and another step and another step. And you don't look at the mountain. You look at the path in front of you, the next step forward. What is that next immediate step? The mountain is a thing that you are going to climb just as a consequence of looking at the path ahead of you, thinking about that next step. Are you moving upward? Are you, making progress, any kind of progress? Because often the mountain is very intimidating, right? It's scary. But don't look at it that way. Don't, you can't see the peak if you are on the trail. If you are like summiting the switchbacks and kind of going up and up, just focus on the trail right in front of you right now. So I want to start with the top of that mountain, the thing that you are going to plug into your GPS and use as your North Star. So a thing that I talk a lot about in my book is this idea of visualizing your better future, of having a really clear idea of what you want out of life and your business. Because it's one thing to think to yourself, oh yeah, like I want to make 6 figures and I want to have all this, crazy business stuff going on and I want to be famous and like all this stuff. It's another thing to actually be emotionally invested in that goal because you understand how it's going to benefit your life and the life of your loved ones. Like, I don't know, wanting to make 6 figures is cool, I guess. Wanting to make 6 figures because you want to, benefit your life in some concrete way and like have a outcome, a better future for yourself and people that you care about. That is a much more concrete goal. That is something that's much easier to visualize. That is a more, emotionally impactful goal to set. It's a thing that you can kind of connect to on a deeper level. And that is what I want for you because this mountain, like we talked about, climbing it is hard. You want a thing that will motivate you, that will serve as a North Star to guide you, even when it starts raining and the trail gets muddy and your feet hurt. And suddenly the mountain is like kind of unpleasant and even more foreboding than it was before. You want, a source of internal intrinsic motivation. So I want you to think about specifically what this better future would look like. When you wake up in the morning, where are you? What is your morning routine? What does your house look like? Where are you living? How do you spend your days? Like, what does your creative practice look like now? What kind of art do you make? How do you, spend all of your time that you now have? And who do you spend it with? Understanding what your life would look like in as much detail as is humanly possible will help you feel invested in this future. And one thing that I personally find really motivating is, again, like having such a richly detailed idea for this future of kind of allowing myself to daydream almost about it and fantasize and think about like how much better my life would be and allowing myself to yearn, to long, to want, right? To want it almost more than I want anything else. To allow that wanting to kind of like fill me up inside, to be a little greedy for once, to have this desire for a better future for myself and the people that I care about. And almost thinking to myself, man, if I don't pursue this, if I don't take action, I am betraying myself. I'm betraying this vision. I know that I'm capable of this. I just have to, do consistent actions and move forward. And allowing kind of myself to reframe pursuing my goals as a thing that I have to do. as, I am betraying myself if I don't do this, of kind of reframing it like that to be no longer optional, to be mandatory, to be an act of self care, to actually push myself to pursue my goals. I find that very helpful. And once you know what your better future is, you have to remind yourself of it very often. Maybe you do this in the form of a vision board that you have like on the ceiling above your bed. So when you wake up, it's the first thing you see. Or maybe you have it as like a few sentences on the lock screen of your phone, something kind of like that, right? But once you have this future, you can no longer avoid delaying. You have to take action. The number one thing for most of you is going to be sharing your work, either in person or online, getting it in front of folks that would connect with it and hopefully eventually purchase your work. But for others, maybe you're not ready for that. Maybe the actual first step that you have to do is improve your skills. If you truly feel like you do not have a sufficiently professional portfolio to comfortably charge money for your work, that is fine. A productive action that you can be taking to improve your business is to improve your skills, of course. So you are likely already familiar with the term minimum viable product, or this idea of like condensing an idea down to its purest, simple, most like kind of base form, right? Like, I don't know, gosh, scissors. This is a great example of a scissors. But I could condense this even more to just the blades, no handle, and that might be like the minimum viable product version of the object. You know what I mean? I want you to think of your business like a minimum viable product. What bare essentials do you need to start making money from your work and start gaining traction in your business? Do you really need the fancy logo? Do you really need like 16 different products? Do you really need a fancy website or like any of that stuff? Or do you just need a way to reach people and a thing to sell? Like, truly, there are two base things that you need to have a business. You don't need a fancy color palette or concrete branding. All of that stuff is awesome. Don't get me wrong, I love talking about it. But do you really need that if you are, just getting started? Probably not. That's a good, like, kind of third, fourth, fifth thing to think about later. But if you are using this like obsession with having it be perfect in the very first try, of having the launch go seamlessly and succeeding overnight, you are again just procrastinating. I kind of want you to think about your business as though it was a first draft of a novel, right? The purpose of a first draft is not to be perfect. It is not to be the final form of the novel. No, of course. It is to exist, right? You are telling yourself the story, as Terry Pratchett would say. The first draft, the point of it, is for the story to exist someplace else other than just your brain. The purpose of your business at first, the minimum viable product, is just to have it exist somewhere else other than your notes app, other than like the little notebook that you're using to scribble in all of your ideas. It is to be out there. It's to start. It's to begin to attract your very first customer, to make that very first sale. That validation that happens when you get that first follower, when you get that first sale, is indescribable. It's really good. I want you to have that feeling, and you can't have that if you keep telling yourself that you have to wait just a couple more months, or the economy is too bad right now. Like, girl, the economy is always bad. The economy has been bad for as long as I've been alive. I am still out here, still doing this, still trying. I don't know. That's just kind of what I think about all of this stuff. I just don't want you to wake up on January 1st feeling like you have wasted another year. I want you to take action. Not for me. Like, truly, like, I don't gain anything by you doing or not doing your business, right? You don't have to buy any of my products ever if you don't want to. I want you to take action for yourself, because I want you to have creative fulfillment. I want you to live the life that you want because I like you or something, or like I care about you as a human being, if I don't know you personally. Like, I want you to do this for you because you are doing it as an act of self-care and self-respect, that you are not going to continue to allow yourself to betray this vision that you have of your better future. I don't know. Does any of that make sense? Hopefully it does. Let me know down in the comments. This was just an unhinged rant that I had to give you. I barely scripted this, but I just kind of wanted to get all of this out there and just again urge you to please take action. Please do things. Please. It is not enough to just watch my videos and like leave really nice comments. I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I really, really want you to like go and do stuff and then tell me how it goes, right? Anyway, yeah, there'll be more videos on the screen if you want to learn how to craft a coherent marketing strategy. If you're ready for that, you can watch some of the videos on screen, but don't use it as another excuse to procrastinate, okay? Do you pinky promise? You pinky promise? Okay, goodbye.